breaking muscle. I'm Allison Bristow. We're going to be doing a brief yoga sequence today that targets the shoulders. So I've got a bolster, a blanket, and a couple of yoga blocks here. So you can get creative if you're doing this at home about maybe some things that you could use to create the same effect if you do not have these props. So this block is going to go along my spine. This block is going to go underneath the back of my head. It's really, and I'm sitting on my blanket to decrease the arch in the lower back when you do this. So this block, you want the top of it at the base of your shoulder blades so that your shoulder heads are in the gap between the blocks. And that's pretty important to really get the full effect of this. And then we set this up underneath the back of the head, and then the arms extend out. Palms are up. Try not to have your palms down, palms up. Make sure you position your prop that's underneath your knees correctly so you can get that nice lower back release. And when you're all set up, just close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Relaxing the belly, becoming conscious of your breath flow, and if you can breathe in more air, so really feel your body, your lungs inflate, giving your body more oxygen, and just coming into that state where you can really allow the support. Allow your body to be supported. So, you can stay here longer. If you're feeling this, just pause the video and stay here longer. I'm going to come off now. When we do come off, we bend the knees and gently roll to one side. Okay? Might take a little doing, but just get yourself where you can lie in a fetal position for a couple moments. Just relax your head, your shoulders. Always I invite you to close your eyes whenever you can, and you don't need them for anything really. Just let your eyes close, inviting your awareness inward. And we'll press ourselves up. Let's move the props to the side. Good. Bend over. And we'll find your way over onto the hands and the knees. So just be sure to set your wrists just a little bit ahead of your shoulders rather than right under. That tends to put a lot of strain on the wrist joint. So just a little bit ahead. And then the knees are under the hips. Feet are conscious, right? Fan out your toes. Find neutral spine. And then we'll let the heart lift and the tailbone lift. And roll the gaze up. And opposite direction. Crown of the head lowers. Tailbone tucks under. And we'll do that a few times. So if you can align your breath with this, that would be optimal. So I'm going to be exhaling as I do this motion and inhaling as I do that motion. Good, one more. And then coming back to neutral, and we're going to go into a child's pose with a shoulder modification and arm modification. So we just bring the big toes together, open the knees a little bit. I'm going to use my blocks and put them out in front. You want them so that, modified to the length of your own arms. So when I put my hands on the blocks, My hips can still release back, and my elbows will be off the ground. I'm going to open them a little bit wider too. If you have broader shoulders, feel free to have your blocks a lot wider too. And then we're just going to rest the head down, back of the neck stays long as you can see. And I'm just gently pressing into my palms and letting the chest sink down towards the floor. It's a really, really great opening for the shoulder joints. And then of course, if you can breathe a little more deeply, your body will find more space here. So just give yourself at least 3 breath cycles. Inhaling and exhaling. Very good. One more breath. And taking the hands off the blocks. We'll set those to the side for now. And then come into downward dog. I want to do this modified version. So first we'll come up to tabletop. And then if you just wrap your fingers around the outer edges of your mat, tuck your toes under and shift into downward dog. You'll get a nice opening again here in the shoulder joints. So if you have tighter hamstrings, please keep your knees unlocked. If you have really mobile knee joints, the tendency can be to hyperextend. So we got to find the balance in between. You can always open your feet wider. You can bend your knees. You always want to be shifting the weight to your legs and out of your arms. Remember, your legs are much stronger than your arms. And then once you feel like you've got equilibrium, just give yourself a couple breaths here. Be sure you're not like this, right? We're looking back towards the feet so the back of the neck is long. One more breath. And after that last exhale, just go ahead and come into regular downward dog. If you need a little break, first you'll bring your knees down and rest. Maybe pause the video, right? And once you're here, we're just going to step our feet together. We'll start on the left side. So I'm going to take my left leg up and back and then step it through, coming into a warrior one pose. So the back foot goes down. The right toes are at 2 o'clock. Please, not 3 o'clock. That's so important. 2 o'clock. The feet are about hip width distance. And then we're going to come on up. So front leg is bent, back leg is straight. The knees aligned over the second and third toes. I'm going to cross my right wrist on top of my left, turn the hands to face in, and then press the palms together. Try not to totally lock out your elbow joints and then take the arms somewhere above your head. They don't have to go all the way back. Once you get to the optimal place for you, just press your palms against each other. Create a resistant stretch, and then take a couple breaths. Be sure to keep the pressure between the hands. That's the goal of this stretch here. And then at the bottom of that last exhale, just gently release the hands, and we'll bring them down to the sides. Just kind of let that go. Maybe even roll your shoulders around. And then we'll take the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers. You can even hold something between your hands. I'm just going to grab this strap here. You could use a towel at home or whatever you have. That way your hands can be open a little wider. And we'll bow inside that front leg. For humble warriors, this is called. Keep your back foot grounded. Keep the energy in the back leg. So try not to let all your weight dump into the front leg, right? Belly's engaged, but the head can be relaxed. And then just breathe. Lifting the arms away from the back as the back of the neck releases. One more breath. your body that time in each pose to get the benefits, the maximum benefits of what you're doing. We'll come up and pause. We're gonna spin the back heel up. Make sure your back knee is soft. Step forward, standing at the top of your mat, and just pausing here. Good. Gonna open the arms out, crossing the left elbow over the right. You're either gonna hug or press the forearms like this, or wrap the forearms, pressing your palms together. So some variation. The key here, the secret ingredient, is once you find your variation, to press the arms against each other so you get the benefit of that resistance stretch. And then just let your hands shift. If you're in this variation, let your hands shift over to the right. Look how it's a really small range of motion. Take a breath, but you're gonna feel it in some different areas of your shoulder. Notice how my knees are unlocked. Let your hands shift over to the left. The elbows go slightly to the right. Take a breath. And coming back to the center, lift up, roll your gaze up, and then bend your knees and just hug your forearms in, round your back, relax your belly. If you're doing the other variation, you're just like this, same thing. And then we're just gonna release the arms and bow forward. Knees are unlocked, feet are parallel, neck is relaxed. Good. On an in-breath, we'll come up into that half forward fold, and then exhale, bow forward. Hands are coming down, stepping back into a plank. Just pausing here. Make sure that the weight is in the knuckle side of your hand, not directly in your wrists. Legs are strong. Always a good idea in plank to feel like you're being pulled up rather than down. The down is a given, so you really have to tune in to the up. And then we'll bring our knees down, lower on down to the belly, hugging the elbows in, untuck the toes, walk the elbows forward. So coming into Sphinx pose, your elbows are just a little ahead of your shoulders. Forearms are parallel, and then just a gentle back bend here. So always be conscious in your feet back there though. So a lot of people will have their feet doing weird things. So try to have them parallel, fan your toes out, and then take a couple of breaths. Heart lifting to chin, not chin lifting away from heart. Breathing in, breathing out. So we want to create that widening of the shoulder heads. And on your next exhale, just lowering down, sliding the hands back like little grasshopper arms, and coming into baby cobra. And some of us maybe could straighten the arms a little bit more and lift the heart. Be really mindful of your lower back. And release. Engage the belly. Press up to the knees. And go back to child's pose. Just let the arms relax here. Neck relaxes. Back rounds. I always like to encourage people to rock a little bit too. That's very calming to the nervous system. And then we're going to come back into downward facing dog. Choose a variation that works for you. You can even bring the leg forward from right here, from tabletop. So downward dog. Let the heart melt back toward the thighs. Press evenly through both hands. Step the feet together. Extend your right leg back. Keep the balance in the hips. And then go ahead and step forward, coming into warrior one. Back heel spins down, back toes are at 10 o'clock, not 9 o'clock. See, not 9, 10. This is so important. It's to keep the knee joint nice and happy, okay? Feet are about hip width distance. We're gonna come up, extend the arms out in front, cross the left wrist over the right, turn your hands so the palms face each other, and then press them together. Elbows are slightly bent, arms are going up to whatever degree is right for you today, and then just go to your stopping point and press the hands together and breathe. You might see some tremoring like me, my arms are shaking. That just usually means you're working into the fascia layer of your body. Any burning also means you're working into the fascia layer. That's why we're doing the resistance stretch here. One more breath, pressing those palms together, and then release. Arms come down, just shake out the arms, roll your shoulders, and then inhale the arms behind the back. So pick up the belt again or your towel if you're going to use one like we did on side one, or you can interlace your fingers. Lift your heart a little bit, really energize that back leg, and then bow inside the front leg. So notice how I'm not doing this, okay? I'm going to keep the weight in the back leg as much as the front leg. So there's some abdominal work happening here, right? And then release down. Relax your head, hug the right hip in, try not to let the right hip go out, okay? And then breathe. And release the hands to the back, rise up, bring the hands to the heart, just pause, spin the back heel up, and step forward. Good. Feet are parallel. You can have your feet open wider or together. Make sure your knees are unlocked, and then open the arms out. Cross the right elbow on top this time. Hug. Press the backs of the hands or front of the hands together for that full wrap. And then press the forearms together. That's the most important secret ingredient here for the resistance stretch. And then let your hands lean to the left, elbows lean to the right. Breathe. Come back through the middle. Hands lean to the right, elbows to the left. Still squeezing the forearms. I know it burns a little bit, but that's okay. One deep breath here. And then forearms right back, right in line with your nose, really. And then we're going to hug in, round the back, relax the neck, take a breath, and unwrap the forearms. Just relax over your thighs. Head relaxes. Weight in the balls of the feet. One more breath here. And inhale up to the half forward fold. Good. And hands come down. We're going to step back to plank. Try to notice too, don't always step back with the same foot. Switch it up. Remember, this is good for our brain too, brain-body connection. So I'm going back to plank. So either the knees come down or you do a very, very mindful chaturanga with integrity, which hopefully is what I am doing right now. And then we're going to come into upward dog. So some of you just go down onto your belly and you come back into the cobra pose, keeping your belly on the floor. If you're in upward dog, there's engagement in the belly, there's a lifting of the heart, and maybe a little bit of looking up. And then from the belly, we're going to press it back to downward dog. Take a couple of breaths here. Make sure your feet are parallel and you're pressing evenly through both hands. From here, knees are coming down. We're gonna lay on the belly, coming into crocodile pose. So this is really a relaxing restorative pose. Stack your hands. Let your legs be open wider than your hips. Relax your forehead onto your hands. Make sure your hands are far enough away that your shoulders aren't going to grip up too. And then you can decide, does it feel better to have your heels turned in or your heels turned out? And just choose one. And take a few deep breaths here. Really let the right shoulder relax and the left shoulder relax. Back of the neck is long. One more breath. And super yummy, finding cactus arms. So I love this for the shoulders and the neck. So just come out to cactus arms like this so your elbows are in alignment with your shoulders and your wrists are in alignment with your elbows. Turn your head to the left first, and if you need cushion under your head, just take a thin layer so it doesn't interfere too much with the integrity of your spine. Just a thin layer under the side of your face, your head. And then just take a couple of breaths here. Really, the head is heavy. The skull is heavy. And turning the head to the other side. Notice the sides are probably different. That's okay. Skull is heavy. Feel that nice stretch along the left side of the neck. One more breath. And head comes back to center. Slide the hands in so you can press up into tabletop and shift the shins over to one side, coming down onto your back. So have either a yoga belt or a towel or a scarf, whatever would work. Slide it underneath you like this, and then lying down for bridge pose, we're going to just give a little extra stretch for the shoulders. So the strap is underneath you, you're holding it, so let me show you up here. So you're holding it like this, and it's under your body. So don't flex your wrist, keep your knuckles pointed forward. Your arms and hands are going to be on the floor, okay? So it's just underneath you. Your hands can walk in fairly close, or you can keep them wider. Your feet are parallel, your heels are under your knees, lifting the hips, and then walking the shoulders in just a little. And then the key ingredient here is pull your hands apart like you're trying to stretch the belt. That should create an external rotation at the shoulder joint. Your chest will open a little bit wider, and then just breathe. Make sure your head is centered with your shoulders. Keep pulling your hands. Again, you're probably going to feel a little bit of burning, maybe some shaking. That's okay, it's normal. Hug your thighs in, pull evenly with the right hand and the left hand. Take one more breath, and then slowly lower down. Good. Slide the legs out straight. Just let the spine come back to neutral. Pause. And then just lying here in Savasana. If you need to make any adjustments, feel free to do that. Most important thing is your body's spacious, you're not touching anything, your palms are up, and then let your eyes close. Just noticing the natural flow of your breath moving inside your physical body. You can stay here for at least a minute, Please promise me you'll be here for at least a minute and maybe even 10.